Bouty Mick gun face. Fire!
Say hello to my little friend!
This video has been sponsored by World of Warships Legends for the Xbox One and PS4. The last time World of Warships sponsored us, we built an awesome railgun inspired by the US Navy's version, capable of hitting Mach 7. This time, we're building something even cooler, a coil gun. That's right, it shoots coils. There are similar physics on how it works compared to the railgun, but a lot more complicated, and potentially even more powerful, because it's almost twice as efficient as a railgun. Why are we making it? Well, the best part about World of Warships is how you can unlock new weapons and upgrade your ships. So, we're upgrading our railgun into a coil gun. And then, we're mounting it on a boat. But first off, why use an electromagnetic railgun or coil gun instead of a good old-fashioned gun? Did you know that traditional artillery propelled by gunpowder explosions cannot exceed 2 kilometers per second? In freedom units, that's 1.25 miles per second. That's fast, but railguns shoot even faster, 3 kilometers per second. Now, how about coil guns? Theoretically, there's no speed limit. The Large Hadron Collider is technically a coil gun with a 27-kilometer long barrel, which can accelerate particles nearly to the speed of light, the maximum speed in the universe. Here's some examples of how fast everyday things are. Of course, subatomic particles are easier to accelerate than bullet-sized projectiles, but coil guns are still way faster than railguns. The other advantage of electromagnetic guns over traditional artillery is that there's no consumable propellant. The propulsion is electromagnet. So, there's no need to store explosives on your warship, which means there's no risk of blowing up accidentally. That also means the ammunition is incredibly cheap. There's no casing, no primer, no assembly. It's literally just chunks of metal. Okay, so how does a coil gun differ from a railgun? Well, obviously one uses rails and the other uses coils. Duh. When a projectile physically connects the 2 rails of a railgun, a massive amount of power flows through that loop. Running that much power through a small aluminum projectile creates an immense electromagnetic force in the direction of the rails, which accelerates the projectile. The more power you run through the system, the faster the projectile goes. A coil gun, instead, uses a series of electromagnetic coils, each which can only pull an iron object towards its center. The electromagnetics don't know that we only want the projectile pulled in one direction, so we have to design our project to turn the coil on, pull the projectile forward, then turn it off before the coil starts to suck it backwards again. Each coil must be carefully timed to turn on and off again to accelerate a projectile. We only want to activate one coil at a time so that the full power is running through the closest magnet only. Our design will consist of a clear tube as the barrel. We've chosen to have 8 stages of coils, each to pull the projectile faster and faster as it moves. That means each of the 8 stages requires a controller that determines when to turn the power on and off. Since this is happening at bullet speeds, we have to design the gun to sequence the coil timing automatically. To know where the bullet is, we have an LED and a light sensor at each stage. As the projectile interrupts the light beam, we want the controller to shut off the current coil and magnetize the next coil ahead. These need to be timed precisely, or the coils will instead slow the projectile down or even make it shoot backwards. Similar to the railgun, we have 2 copper bus bars carrying the positive and negative connections from the battery, which provides the power to each of the coils. The main brain of the coil gun is a programmable TNC 3.5 microcontroller that will write code to send instructions to each coil stage. Finally, the projectiles can be any iron or steel rod that fits inside the barrel. When the coil gun fires, each stage accelerates the projectile more. The more stages you add, the faster you can get it to go.
Here is all of our wire. We're going to use this huge roll of copper wire to make our 8 smaller coils. There we go. Plan is, we have a coil for the coil gun, and we have a projectile for the coil gun, and we have the battery pack for the coil gun. We just want to get a ballpark for how well this is going to work before we risk blowing up one of the transistors. I'm going to take this, connect it to the battery pack, and tap it against there to fire it. There's going to be a big spark, and this thing is going to move. I don't really know how far, and I don't know how fast, but hopefully pretty far and pretty fast, and Evan won't want to be standing there. Yeah, just tapping against it. All right. 3, 2, 1.
It shot backwards!
Okay. No, but the thing is, if you hold it for too long, it'll go forward, stop cold, and then turn around and keep going backwards. 3, 2, 1.
Yay!
Yeah, it should work.
Time to design our custom PCBs. Now we can order our parts.
There we go. Check out the full electronics diagram using the link in the description below to visit the project on maker.io.
Now let's design the coil gun in SolidWorks so we can start building the gun. Wait, where'd that come from?
Okay, so we have everything ready to assemble, so Dalton and I are gonna get at it. What maniac designed this thing? Okay, let's test it. 3, 2, 1. I disconnected the power. 1. Another.
Broke through the plastic.
Oops, that was definitely an oops, and I'm gonna blame Dalton. It's really heavy.
So, to get the most power, the stages need to be turned off at just the right moment. If they turn off too early, we don't get as much power as we could. If they turn off too late, we lose power and the shot may start going backwards. I'm gonna fire it a bunch of times to try and find the sweet spot.
This is gonna take a while.
66.4.
3, 2, 1.
Or 53.3.
Go times. Okay, another.
59.5.
Oh!
53.4. 53.
On to the next stage.
60.
And another. 2, 1, 1.
52.9.
So smooth. Just like, phew, phew. Yeah! So the power just went out in the shop. Apparently it's not coming back on for another like 3 or 4 hours. Lights! We have batteries. So it's time for my only contribution to the Coilgun project, besides
Pay for everything and design everything and make everyone look cooler.
anyways, we have to upgrade this puny little gun here with the Coilgun. Which means we gotta get rid of all of this stuff. Okay, that just comes up. Yeah, is it big enough? Boat gun! Ready?
50 up.
Yeah, I think this will do.
Oh man.
Okay.
Oh my god. Oh, hope in hell.
Okay, why am I left-handed? How heavy is this? Oh god!
That is heft and a half.
This might be the most ridiculous thing we've ever made, Charles. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay.
Award for most ridiculous thing we've ever made.
She a heavy boy.
Alright, let's test it. Alright, test.
Alright, now before we test this bad boy, I want to tell you guys a little bit about our sponsor, World of Warships. And up we go. Husky, where's my controller? Thanks, Husky. Let's do this. Available for both PS4 and Xbox One, Legends is an epic 9v9 massively multiplayer online naval warfare game. You get to engage in super intense battles where strategy and collaboration are the key to master the seas. It's visually stunning, with highly detailed graphics, a complex physics engine, and realistic sound effects that make it feel like you're right there in the heat of battle. And, just like in real life, navies around the world develop new technology in order to upgrade their warships. So, in the game, you get to upgrade your warships with historically accurate modules. Each ship is an evolving machine that you can modify to your own liking, just like how we made this coil gun. And, one of the best parts, it's free to win. That means the majority of the game content is free. But, for those of you who would like to kickstart your progress, there are several Founders Packs loaded with cool ships, doubloons, and other goodies to get you started. And if you're already a fan of World of Warships, you'll be excited to learn there's a console-exclusive content, from new maps, ships, and even special events. Personally, one of my favorite features is how you can jump straight into the action with fast-paced gameplay focused on 9v9 battles and maps adapted for faster engagements. Learn more about World of Warships Legends and help support the channel today by clicking the links in the description below. Do it. Do it now. No, seriously, it's a great game. Check it out.
World of Warships Legends. Go legendary or go home.
I dub thee Boaty Mick Gun Face. Look, it's a one-handed gun. I don't know what you're talking
It's
about.
gonna be hard on audio.
Let's start with a warm-up shot and try and take out that pop bottle. Fire! You missed. Fire! Yeah! Give him a sharp round this time. Fire!
Hang on, I put it on safe.
Safety off! Fire! Woo! Let's do some Hacksmith classes, see how they fare. 2, 1. Oh! Right in the chest. Lesson learned, everyone is in the blast zone and we should probably back up. Fire! Oh yeah! We haven't learned our lesson. Let's try some regular safety glasses. 3, 2, and look at that. Soy sausage. Okay, you gotta aim for his left eye.
You should have gone for the head.
Safety.
Yep.
We have successfully killed Thanos. That was for Bucky. All right, next.
1.
Oh, I think we can see where we hit it. 2, 1.
Woo! I'm doing it freehand.
Okay.
Say hello to my little friend! Pretty dope. Pretty dope! 3, 2, 1. Damn it. Uh-oh. I'm completely missing now.
Right, that's, yeah, that's a problem, yeah. The resistor, blew off. That has happened before, but I thought it was a one-time thing.
So the coil gun exploded yesterday while we were testing. This morning I went in and replaced the stage that blew up, and now we're going to see if it works. 1.
I saw a spark.
Oh yeah. Sounded like a good shot though.
Always look on the bright side of life.
Back part and replace that where it lies. We've done this before, we can do it again. Let's try that again.
No spark.
It works. It's not about to explode. More crazy.
Gonna shoot
More.
More. Why are you making me do this? So, to prove that the tempered glass is strong.
That is tempered glass.
Apparently. Shoot her in the face. Shoot her in the face.
Shooting her in the face.
Yes.
Go for it.
Okay.
Oh god.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, that took out a chunk. That one.
I've got a bright idea.
Fire! Fire! That's awesome.
Ian needs the proof.
Here we have an idiot in his natural habitat.
A little bit this way.
This way.
Other way.
Oh.
Yep, you're good.
Good? All right. Thanks for turning the laser on. That made me feel better.
Fire! Fire!
That broke.
I shouldn't have had my mouth open.
One. Uh-oh. I'll just reload it.
That was awesome. 3, 2, 1. G4.
No! You sunk my battleship! You'll pay. G5!
A1.
Riley, you sunk my battleship. This will not go unanswered. I'll show you, A1.
Not again! That was so good. But you still missed.
This is probably one of our most technologically advanced projects yet. I love it. Big thank you to Charles, a University of Waterloo engineering co-op student responsible for the design, and an even bigger thank you to our sponsor, World of Warships Legends, for making this project possible. Check out Legends today using my link in the description below. Every click helps ensure that we can keep making these awesome projects. Oh, and don't forget to check out our railgun video from last year. Should we upgrade the coil gun for a future video? We've only just scratched the surface of its awesome potential.